Hey everybody, it is Kulipup here again, and I wanted to do another pendulum video, okay? So in this video, I'm going to be kind of going a little bit more in more depth about how to use your pendulum, okay? And what it is and all of these bits and pieces. So firstly, if you do not have a pendulum, you can make one yourself. You have to remember a pendulum doesn't always have to be something that is purchased or that is bought. You can simply get a ring or an item that is close to you, and you can simply put it on a piece of string that is approximately 6 to 7 inches long, and as long as it can gain a little bit momentum. Now, don't get me wrong, if you have a pendulum with a stone and so forth, it does help the momentum to swing a lot better and to do a lot of cool stuff with it. It just makes it easier. However, it is not entirely required as well. But anyway, I don't sell pendulums. Can't tell you where to get one or anything like that. But that just for your own knowledge. Okay, so firstly, what is a pendulum? Like what is it used for? What do we want it for? Now, firstly, a pendulum is nothing but a tool, okay? It is nothing but a tool that channels your own energy to give you answers that you require. But it is only a tool. It is the same way a wizard has a magic wand, right? The wand is channeling their energy to get their spells to go. Or a chef, when they use a knife, a cutting knife, they are channeling their energy and they are manipulating it in through the knife so that they can make those perfect slices on those tomatoes. Versus if somebody who does not know how to use a knife or channel it will make a bloody mess, right? So just be aware that your pendulum does not hold any power in itself. Now, of course, it's vibrating. So if you have a stone like mine, it's going to have its own little vibration that goes to it. But generally, it is just your own power that is being used through this. So there's nothing to actually fear about the actual pendulum itself. Okay, it is nothing but a tool that channels your own energy. I wrote notes down here to keep me on track because I tend to blabble, so bear with me on this one. So next thing to do when you are choosing a pendulum, if you do want to get one with a stone and everything like that, just for ease, how do you actually choose it? Well, I always recommend getting a stone that best matches your own frequency. Mine is, of course, the blue lapis lazuli. That is mine, and with a gold chain on it, because the blue lapis and the gold resonate with my frequency a lot better than if I were to use any other pendulum. So with that being said, mine can move very, very freely without me having to put a lot of effort, or not that I have to put effort into like move it or anything like that. So even if I were to stand as still as I could and I said, please show me a yes answer, it's going to start to move immediately because it vibes with my own frequency. So again, helping me to channel that much better. Kind of like how Harry Potter, when he was like, oh, the wand picks the wizard, not the wizard picks the wand, kind of thing. It's the same kind of thing. Like, so this works best with me because it hits my own frequency. Okay. Next thing to know when it comes to your pendulum, okay, whatever answers you want this sucker to give you, you have to understand that your mind is the most powerful thing that it takes direction from. Okay, so your mind is the master of this tool, just like any tool that you choose to use. If you pick up a pen, you are the master of this pen. You will direct as to wherever it wants to go. So if you're finding that you're having really inconsistent answers, sometimes it could just be because you're either focusing too hard on the answer that you want versus the answer that is truth. So whenever you're using this, you have to make sure that you have an open mind that is clear so that you are not infiltrating the answer in itself, okay? Otherwise, it's just going to give you what you want to hear, which is useless, really. That doesn't get you. Why ask the question if you might as well go with whatever you wanted the answer to be in the first place. Why waste the energy of using this? Okay, so now we know what it is. It's just a tool. It harnesses your own energy. That's what it's used for. There's nothing to fear with it. And you've picked the right kind of crystal for you. And you understand that your mind is what is key to controlling this. So again, I can make this go around in a big circle. Yep. And then we can go stop. And then let's go anti-clockwise then. Let's go there and let's switch to a yes. Now let's switch to a no. And it literally is going to do whatever I ask it to because I know my mind is key over this. Okay, so next to what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to make sure that you are programming this pendulum. And really, when I say you're programming the pendulum, you're not actually programming the pendulum. You're programming your own mind to give you the information that you want. Because if you don't program your pendulum, you don't know exactly who is answering the questions for you. There are 3 types of individual that will answer a question on here for you. And I have another video based on that as to who is speaking to you. But it's either going to be your higher consciousness or your spirit guide, or your source fractal, the source of all truth and the source of all knowledge. That's who you want to be answering through on this pendulum. However, if you don't program it or program your mind to say, no, I only want this, then you could actually be picking up on either an entity that is not of you, but knows all about you and knows what to tell you to get what it wants out of you, to manipulate you, okay, into doing what they want you to do. So it's not always that this entity is going to tell you to go do bad things, but it may make you make a decision that's going to lead to some sort of negative emotion that comes out of you or frustration, and that is what they feed off of. Okay, so you'll go around thinking, I just had a bad day, when really you were manipulated into feeling these things so that this thing could still have existence around you. Okay, or just manipulate you for whatever it wants you to do. Another major program that is actually interfering with a lot of the questions and answers that you have would be your subconscious. Your subconscious will love to get through on this sucker to tell you what it wants you to do, how it wants you to do it, so that you do not progress and move forward, because your subconscious is based off of a lot of fears. You have a lot of fears that come out of your subconscious, so it stops you from doing something. So for example, if you said, I want to travel the world, but your subconscious will be like, wait a second, we don't have any money. How are we going to survive? Oh, I've never been on a plane by myself before. Oh, I don't want to do it. But your heart's going, oh, I want to travel and I want to see the world. So when you're like, hey, should I travel and see the world? Your pendulum's going to go, because your subconscious is like, nope, don't want you to do it. Don't want you to do it. I want to keep you safe. And so it'll stop you from experiencing a lot of wonderful things just based off of fear. So that's why you really need to ensure that when you are asking a question, your subconscious is not coming through on this one. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hold your pendulum, and you're going to want to look at it, because again, you're programming your own mind so that when you see this pendulum, you are only going to get a specific set of, only your higher consciousness or your spirit guide will be allowed to swing this pendulum for you. So you're going to want to say, I program this pendulum to give me only source truth, regardless of what I believe to be true or not. Okay, so look at your pendulum and again say, I program this pendulum to give me only source truth, regardless of what I believe or think to be the truth or not. And that's what you're going to do. And you can change up those words if you like. Whatever makes you feel it, really feel it. When you're saying, you're like, nah, man, I only want truth, you know, and only source truth. Because that way, you'll get the right answers every time, and you won't have to worry about like, oh, what's the accuracy of my pendulum? Like sometimes it says it's yes, sometimes it says it's a no, and sometimes it's a maybe, and I don't know what's happening. So if you want truth, you got to program it. Okay, next thing you've got to want to do is once you have it programmed, you're going to want to have it show you what is a yes answer, a no answer, a maybe answer, and a perhaps answer. So I will just show you. So I'd say, give me a no answer, please. Okay, so every time I see it swing back and forth, I know it's a no answer. Give me a yes answer, please. Okay, and it's changing, and it's going right back and forth. Okay, so I know that this is a yes answer. Give me a maybe answer. Maybe is going this way. And give me a perhaps or a conditional answer, please. And then there we go, it's swinging the other way now, or going that direction. Now you also want to know, And you also want to make sure you are asking this question. Am I getting only source truth on this pendulum? Yes. That's going to be a big one, because again, source truth is the collective consciousness of all of source creation, okay? And it will only give you all that is or all that ever was, just the truth. So that's why when you are getting source truth, it means that I, with my pendulum, can ask one question and get a yes answer. And if you, all the way across the other side of the world, were to ask the exact same question, you would get the exact same answer. So everybody is on truth. However, if we don't confirm that we are getting source truth specifically, we could be getting the truth of our subconscious, which then that's why we have disparities all over the world, where some readers or some psychic pendulum readers and everything will give you one answer and others will give you another. It's because they're not basing it off of actual source truth. Not just what they believe, not just what some entity or whatever person wants to tell them, but physically source truth. Okay? Now, what if, now once you are on your truth, you're going to have to understand that the questions that you ask will need to be on a technical basis. Because when we are speaking of truth, there's a lot of things and you have to be technical. So for example, I've got a couple of examples here. If you wanted to ask, should I buy a new car right now? Now you could ask, should I buy a new car right now? And you're either going to get a yes, no, maybe so, or whatnot, right? However, if you were to change your question to, would buying a car be beneficial to me right now? You may get an entirely different answer. Should you buy something versus will it benefit if you buy it, benefit you? That's going to be a deciding factor then, wouldn't it? Because you may get a yes on you should buy a car right now because perhaps you don't like walking anywhere or taking the bus. But will it benefit you to buy a car? Nope, maybe not. Maybe you'll be broke and you'll actually suffer some psychological setbacks because of it, right? So should versus benefit. Another, this is one for other psychics or other readers out there when you're using your pendulum. We often get a lot of questions in regards to love, right? Like, hey, will this person marry me or so forth? So this is if a client were to ask me, will David and I get married and be together forever? I may get like yeah, David, David and you will get married and be together forever. However, I know my client, what they really want to know is, will they have a happy marriage? Because nobody wants to know if they're going to be together with somebody in misery. So what I would then do, to be more technical, I would then say, will David and my client, or would David and I have a happy marriage while being together forever? See, and then I could get a different answer on that one. So if I were to say, just will we get married and be together forever? It's like, yeah, sure you will. Will you be happy? Nope. And then you can go as to why. Like, why won't you be happy? You know, well, David is controlling and possessive. Oh, then maybe I don't want to marry him and be together forever. Or it could be that like, oh, well, you're controlling and possessive and David's going to bugger off. So it's, sorry, I keep shaking the camera. So it's all well worth it to be technical with your answers and just think of different ways that you can ask questions in order to get what you need. Alrighty, that is it from me. I hope that helps, and I hope we're all getting our pendulums out and using them, because again, when you have truth, you can make a lot of good decisions and you can really start to navigate life properly when you have your little beacon of truth with you. All right, thank you. Bye.